Where are all the good women at? Am I right? If you're a woman, where are all the good men at? Right? I mean, doesn't matter, right? Sexuality, whatever it is that you prefer, where are all the good men and women at, right? What if the question that is being asked is not accurate for the answer that any given individual that is asking that question is looking for? The fascinating thing about the question, which I will break down and first introduce the foundational emotional immaturity aspect of it, just to clear that out of the way. The question itself consists of the word good, which is rooted in emotional immaturity, which its opposite is bad, right? This is black or white thinking, good or bad, right? Where are all the good women at? I understand that a lot of people would probably respond to that with being taken advantage of or being treated like shit by a bad dude, right? And that could very well be the case. Maybe that's the case because they're attracted to bad boys because their father was a piece of shit that degraded them and abused them and led them to believe that that's all they're worthy of. But this goes far deeper than that because the question in and of itself doesn't even bring us to an answer that is helpful. I'm just going to suggest that the question itself is invalid. Where are all the good women at? That doesn't bring us any answer that we're actually looking for. Because, again, in and of itself, it's rooted in emotional immaturity. The question in and of itself is rooted in emotional immaturity. Where are all the good women at? Let me avoid the bad ones. Good or bad? Huh, that's interesting. So, what is the best way to approach this question? Well, one, understanding that anybody that is asking this question is likely, and I'm not trying to generalize, I'm really not trying to generalize, but anybody that's asking this question is likely emotionally immature. Good slash bad is black slash white, black or white thinking, which is rooted in infancy. It's the things that it's the dynamic that infants experience in infancy, in months of age, from being a newborn. Um, and the very reality is that a lot of people that are emotionally immature see the world and people in a black or white filter, right? So the reason why it's not beneficial to approach the question from that standpoint is simply because it's the equivalent of putting something into a machine and not getting anything out of it. Because what is required to put into the machine is something of logical and meaningful substance. So the better way to approach this, or I would say the only way to approach this, is, but this is why it's paradoxical. I'll explain the better way to approach it first. Where are all the healthy women at? Where are all the healthy men at? If you're a woman and that's what you're into, right? The reason why it's more beneficial to approach from that standpoint is because you're going to get a more logical response. And they're out there, by the way. They are. Now, the reality of the matter is that the people that are asking that question, right? The people that are asking that question of where are all the good women at? They're avoiding you because you're not emotionally healthy. You're emotionally immature. This is, by the way, this is not at all an attack on anybody. I'm actually just laying this out for what it actually is, rather than, you know, beating around the bush and playing around with stuff. No. Healthy individuals, at least those that like exceed average health, they avoid unhealthy individuals. Period. So when you ask, where are all the good women at? What you're really asking is, where are all the healthy women at? But the challenge here is that there are two ways to this. The healthy, that you call good women, are not going to be attracted to you because you're not healthy. The healthy, good women are not women that you're going to be attracted to because you're not attracted to healthy, boundaried individuals. This is why it's a paradox. So you can ask all you want, where are all the good women at? Right? You can. And you can find a woman that you believe is a good woman, which what you're really looking for, or what you're really referring to, is somebody who is capable of sustaining a long-term healthy relationship, which wouldn't be possible with somebody who's emotionally immature, and that's the reality of it, right? Let me make this very clear, because another facet of emotional immaturity and black or white thinking is one of the biggest wild dynamics in relationships that a lot of people might not be aware of. And it is a facet of black or white thinking, like I was saying before. And that is the dynamic of all or nothing. I see so many, I actually just saw a story last night on social media where a person decided to go like with a lack of boundaries and expose a relationship dynamic. Not good or bad or right or wrong. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But they exposed their relationship dynamic about somebody that they were in a relationship with. And they were talking about like, yeah, we got together, this, that, and the other. We spent like every day together for 2 weeks. We stayed up way late at night. That's an all or nothing dynamic. You guys are submerging yourselves in each other right off the bat really fucking fast. All or nothing. What happens in relationships where the dynamics are all or nothing? Well, it starts really fast and it also ends really fast. So the same people, whether men or women, that are asking the question, where are all the good women at? Where are all the good men at? They're avoiding the hell out of you because you're not healthy. But you don't realize that you also wouldn't be attracted to them because they are healthy boundaried. The real now I almost went black or white there. The real, real, not real, black or white. Anyway, the most beneficial question to ask, like I was saying before, is where are all the healthy individuals at? Right? But the people that are asking the where are all the good women at, they might want a long-term relationship. Yeah, they might. But their very foundation is emotionally immature. And that's the reality of it. I can tell this. I see it for what it is. Right? Remember I was talking about in the last video where I was talking about how we could all potentially be Neo waking up from the Matrix and seeing everything for what it is, seeing everything as ones and zeros. When somebody says, where are all the good women at? I see straight through it. For starters, a person's not good or bad. They're just a person. That's the way that it is. But when I see somebody say, where are all the good women at? I'm like, oh, I know exactly what you're referring to. That's all rooted in emotional immaturity. You might want a long-term relationship, but you don't know how to start or even sustain it because you see things in a black or white standpoint with that matter. Therefore, you're likely to approach it from a standpoint of all or nothing. Right. When we seek relationships, many people that are emotionally immature, that idealize, place people on a pedestal rather than just seeing them for the person that they are. And then even after that, likely devalue them. All or nothing. You are everything to me. You are nothing to me. Right? People that are emotionally immature lack the capacity to hold a sustained relationship of consistent health because they see a person as good or bad, rather than understanding that we all have these dynamic qualities inside of us, and that's the reality of it, right? And I'm not kidding, by the way, when I say that healthy individuals are avoiding unhealthy individuals. Yes, healthy individuals avoid unhealthy individuals because they're polar opposites, right? Doesn't mean that they won't have a conversation and likely, lean in to learn a little bit more about how fucking emotionally immature the person is, but that's the reality of it, right? And so that all or nothing dynamic leads to relationships that fall apart really fucking fast, because whatever starts fast ends fast, because it's that all or nothing. You gave all up front, you gave everything up front, which is a totally boundaryless dynamic. And then what happened? It fell apart really fucking fast because it was everything all up front, and then all of a sudden was nothing. So that's the thing to understand too, is that when your relationship starts really fast and you're giving everything up front, don't expect that to last. It's likely not going to. I mean, unless like there are exceedingly good boundaries set in place and somehow it can remain sustained, it's likely not going to last. So the more beneficial question to ask again is, where are all the healthy individuals at? And quite honestly, that's going to require you to look deeper into yourself and get healthier for yourself, because they're not going to come around if you're not healthier. That's the reality of it. But again, so that it's understood, um, it's nearly an invalid question to ask, where are all the good, or where are all the good women slash men at? Because it's like a never-ending loop of diving into a fucking rabbit hole that goes fucking nowhere and the same fucking place over and over and over again. It just brings you back to the same conclusion that your emotional immaturity, no offense, no attack at all, so quite honestly, emotional immaturity is what it is. We are born into, as Freudian psychology suggests, with the psychoanalytic theory, the model of the id, the first entity that is born, the ego, and then the superego, which develops later on, right? We were all emotionally immature at one point, right? We were all little ids in infancy, right? We saw things in an entirely black or white way. We craved instant gratification as infants. Some people actually got stagnated there as a result of trauma. Something happened very early on in their life and it stagnated them there. And so they got stuck in seeing things in a black or white way, which affects the way that you date. It affects the way that you hold relationships. It affects the way that you interact with people. It affects the way that you perceive people, right? Again, people that are emotionally immature see people in a black or white way. They idealize, they put people up on a pedestal, and, oh my God, they're the best thing in this fucking world. And then when they see one evidence that that person is anything less than this messiah level of perfection that they've idealized in their mind, they all of a sudden devalue them and they're the fucking scum of the fucking earth. They're the devil, right? It's black or white thinking, all or nothing. You're all good or all bad, right? So the same people, or I should say, the people that ask the question, where are all the good men slash women at, are the same people that are emotionally immature because they see it as good or bad. Oh, that's a bad woman. She's this or that way. No, she's not. Learn more about her. I mean, she could very well be unhealthy, and that's okay, but you could still learn about her, right? The further away you get from this idea that people are good or bad, and there's no in between, and the closer you get to just seeing people for who and what they are, the more close you will, the sorry, proper grammar, the closer you will get to a healthy perception of what's actually real in front of you. And that's the reality of it. So understanding that it's not a matter of good or bad, it's not really valid. It's not going to get you very far. It's more so a matter of understanding what it is that actually makes a healthy individual, which unhealthy individuals are not going to be attracted to. And Same is said for healthy individuals that would not be attracted to unhealthy individuals, right? And I will end off with this last note just to clear things up. A healthy individual is an individual that has healthy boundaries, whether from childhood or through therapy and healing later on in adult life, has individuated and has differentiated. Individuation is basically about becoming your own individual, having your own thoughts, your own opinions, your own feelings, your own beliefs, becoming your own autonomous fucking organism. And differentiation is how you differentiate between self and other. That has a lot more to do with boundaries, has a lot more to do with self and other. My shit, your shit, right? Just so that the dynamic here is understood. The question of where are all the good women at is nearly fucking invalid. And it really doesn't take anybody anywhere except for the same fucking loop of the same fucking experiences of dynamics and dating over and over and over again that just continue to lead them to ask the same fucking question that is actually invalid. Unless that is you just want to continue living the same fucking lifestyle of a lack of success in relationships. You can do that. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just here to portray it for you.